Also, I guess something I should add for like the extra kind of thing is that the final boss of the game has a limiter set on him, and if you hmm, if you meet certain conditions or if you do certain things, that limiter comes off, and so it makes the final boss extremely difficult. And I like that. I like actually having final bosses that are really really hard. Yeah, it may be frustrating, but it's nice to have final bosses that are difficult or really hard instead of being pushovers if you do enough side quests or if you're leveled up to a certain point. So I really like that. There was a remake for the game actually, and that is Star Ocean Second Evolution for the PSP, and this actually had new character portraits for it. They kept all the in-game like the sprites and stuff the same from what I can tell, but they changed the characters' drawings. They've added new cutscenes. There's new voice actors, new voiced dialogue, and there's a lot of new stuff to it. To be honest, I'm actually just now starting to play this, and there's a reason why. I had played a little bit of it beforehand, but only maybe 2 or 3 hours of it. So I kind of got a feel for it, but I wasn't. I wanted to play it a little bit, but it was kind of one of those those itches to play it, but not really like, oh, I need to play this game, because and I just got too busy, and I kind of just stopped. However, I'm actually replaying this now, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you've not played it and you can't find the PS1 version, try to look for the PSP version. So one thing I do have to say is that the I'm not the biggest fan of the character drawing portrait the drawn portraits. I don't. It's not something that turns me off or anything. It's just kind of in the middle for it. I don't mind it, but in the same hand, I'm kind of like, I thought it could have been better. And mentioning all this stuff and why is because I've really had an interest in wanting to play it again, and it wasn't just out of the blue or anything. I'd actually had purchased this, which is the 7-volume set for Star Ocean Second Story, which was released by Shonen Gangan and was written and illustrated by Mayumi Azuma. And this game, if you played the PS1 version, it ends at right before the first disc ends. And so I was reading through this, and I slowly started really enjoying it, and I slowly it was slowly bringing me back into wanting to play the Star Ocean games, or at least the Star Ocean Second Story. And so I was kind of getting into it, and then I got through it, and I'm like, I have to play it again. And so I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of dialogue in here. So, I was actually kind of surprised by it. However, if you are a Star Ocean the Second Story fan, or if you just like manga, and you maybe want to, if you can somehow get a hold of it online, or you find or something, you can find the Japanese versions, and you want to try out your Japanese, I do suggest it, because it's always good if you're learning Japanese and you want to read some things in Japanese. Manga is definitely a good way to start, because it can be difficult, but the illustrations can also help if you're kind of confused on things, or if you just can't understand a certain sentence and you're just like, and instead of you just being dumbfounded, you can at least look at the picture and be like, I can kind of infer what they're saying. It also has furigana, which is the tiny little katakana to kind of read a kanji if you don't know what the kanji is, which is always nice, especially if you don't know the kanji, because kanji can be a pain. There's a lot of them, and so if you don't know it, you can be like, okay, this is what this is saying, and then you can look it up online or if you have a dictionary, look it up in your dictionary or something to try to figure out what it means. This was actually turned into an anime series, and it's about, I want to say it's 26 episodes, and it was called Star Ocean EX, and it did eventually get over to the States. I do know that. However, it also ends at the same spot where the manga ends, and even though it kind of comes to an end, it definitely leaves, in the manga, it leaves a bit open of like, well, not open, but leaves you hanging, like what else, what's else there is. And they remedied that with having the Japanese voice actors do a 5-disc drama set of the same ones that were in the anime to wrap up everything. However, that did not make it to the States. So this actually, I believe, started. It was, I want to say, it was 1999, and then they actually finished up the 7th novel in 2001. And so I really just wanted to gush a little bit and talk a little bit about the Star Ocean the second story, because I really like this game, and I love the music. It's one of those I don't see a lot of people talking about, maybe because they enjoyed 3 more, or they really were turned off by 4. I don't know. I do suggest it. It's awesome, and if you do get the PS1 version, you can kind of laugh at some of the kind of voice acting to it, because one of my really good friends made he pointed out something to me that I never really paid attention to, or he mentioned it before I started playing it, where one of the main characters, one of his attacks, it sounds like he's saying like "tear into peaches" or something like that, or something, or and things like that. So those are always nice. Real quickly, I want to throw out that the game did actually have a sequel, and it was released in 2001 for the Game Boy Color, and that is Star Ocean Blue Sphere. And this takes place 2 years after the end of the second story. And to be honest, I've only played about maybe 2 or 3 hours of it. I don't want to get too into it. It was already long enough, but I did also pick up it did as well have a 7-volume set for the manga, so I hopefully will get a chance to read that here very soon, and then be able to play through the game and let you guys know how that is. That's really about it. I just really wanted to talk about the Star Ocean game, because that's what I've been playing lately, and that's just, it's a really enjoyable game, at least to me. So that's really about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, what have you, please leave them down below, and I'll definitely make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.